for no reason, I whisper very quietly under my breath, Battlebeard. Not if people will get that. Some people will.
How do you like the cooking kettle that I put into the fire with the smoke? Kind of
Awesome.
I ninja'd that in on you guys.
Well,
I
actually,
use
now
the
you should
heal.
move it because it's been hit and knocked off there.
Yeah. So there you go. You've got 4 dead Revengers.
I look at the bodies.
They actually have nothing. They just have their clothing. What's left of it?
1 second, there's a fire alarm going off.
Stop, drop, and roll.
It's okay. Someone got it. So I'm technically looking to see like how they died, like what type of weapons or anything like that they were used to kill them.
These Dalish died from your wounds that you inflicted on them.
Okay.
Those are the wounds of how they died. One was decapitated, and the other 3 were slain. One had a dagger pierced through his back, coming out through his chest. Another one had, magic blast and, darkened areas from magic hitting him, and the others were basically just bludgeoned and speared to death.
I'm walking around.
Yes, David. There is no crying in role-playing games. Goddammit!
Movement I can see off in the distance, kind of just
I
do
go
a lap.
the opposite direction.
It is total quietness. You could
I
hear
go
a
back
pin
to
drop.
sleep.
You go back to sleep. Battle's over. I go back to sleep. Nice.
Hey, why not?
Pretty interesting conclusion though, because now that you've actually found the Dalish camp, you've found the Dalish, you found some of the Dalish, mind you, and they actually were not. They were Darkspawn, but then they polymorphed back into their Dalish elf form. So there's definitely, Bell, you can actually tell, and also as well as Aziza, you two can definitely tell that there's something magic about this. There's some kind of dark magic involved in this.
Would I be able to do some kind of like law, kind of arcana check to see if I can tell what kind of magic could be involved?
You can give me, yeah, sure, you can give me that kind of check. That would be encouraged.
Second. It's a check. It's a cunning check, and I actually get a +2 because I actually have arcane law, cunning arcane law.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So cunning, and I get a +2.
Wow,
I have no
very
idea
nice
what I
roll.
rolled.
You had an 18, very nice roll, almost a maximum. So yes, you're not sure if you can determine if this is blood magic, or if this is something to do with the chain that Ashara actually had, because remember she had mentioned that the chain is the item that actually, the broken chain that she had, was the link of the chain, was actually what transform Mythalin into the abomination that what he has become. So this could actually, you actually think that this could be from the chain, but you're not too sure if maybe this could be blood magic as well. But you really just don't have enough evidence to come to a final conclusion. But it's definitely one of the two.
Could you possibly give me another piece of information as well, please? Because I have the law talent, which says at novice, if I do a cunning test with a law focus and pass it, you have to give me an extra piece of information on that particular topic if you think one is appropriate.
Yeah, right now I don't think there's one that's appropriate, because I basically give you all of the information because your roll was so good.
Cool, no problem. I was just because obviously I've got the talents, I thought I'd try and use it.
Yeah, no problem. if I had, that's a good thing. I would definitely give you more, but I just don't have more for you. So
cool. No problem. So I turn and I let the party know what I have gleaned from this, and I look to see what reaction I get, if any.
Yellow.
What's that?
Hello?
Obviously get no reaction,
No.
especially from the canary, which
No.
kind of actually makes sense.
The canary is just kind of looking at the ground, going, as he's out browsing the internet.
I'm asleep.
Yeah, no, that actually kind of makes sense.
Somebody knocked over my stew.
Right.
Sorry, I'm still chuckling at that. I actually think that was an amazing answer.
Well, it was pretty good myself.
I look over to Aziza to see if I get any reaction, especially at the mention of blood magic and anything like that. Do I get any kind of reaction at all?
User disconnected from your channel.
So you think it's definitely of evil descent, do you?
I believe so, just from like the cursory look I have given over the wounds, and just from like casting my mind back to all those hours and hours I've spent reading books on Darkspawn and this kind of taint. I believe I can remember a few stories.
Do these look like the same type of creatures we fought at the first caravan?
Do they,
battle?
David?
No, these are not. You fought Blight Wolves. Revengers are a... And in fact...
No,
Before the caravan.
No. No, what you fought at the caravan was different as well.
Does it appear like that they were affected by the same taint, though?
Yes. Well, it seems like, well, all of the Darkspawn are pretty much affected by the Blight, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Sorry, what I was meaning is like it's the same causal effect.
Yeah, you can't tell a difference.
Okay.
If that's what you're wondering. No, you can't tell a difference. So.
User disconnected from your channel.
Alright, with the last few hours left after the watch, it will be back to their watch, and I would like to get a little bit of rest.
User joined your channel.
Yeah, you're able to have an undisturbed rest for the entirety of the night, and you can also get back. I don't think this has actually been enough rest to actually be considered as a sleep. We'll say actually it has been. So you basically everybody's going to be back at full hit points, because I think that the rest about did it, but the sleep will top everyone off. And as for your mana, go ahead and roll. Well, you're going to be full mana anyway, so because you get an additional 1d, you get 1d6 per hour of rest for mana used. So plus your magic per hour. So yeah, you've basically gotten full mana as well. And it is now the morning, and the light is just now starting to peer through the trees of the forest.
Does there happen to be a shovel anywhere in camp?
Sure, you find several shovels throughout the wreckage of the wagons and everything. Yeah.
My character is gonna start digging graves.
Okay.
I help Elephane dig the graves.
And then
That's
she'll
happening.
perform the dayless ritual for the dead.
Hey, what's up there,
As
Shadow?
that's happening, I'm kind of like...
Yeah, we're playing Dragon Age tonight.
Slightly confused. At
Welcome to the game.
the almost sudden change in attitude from both of them. From the first time we encountered darkspawn creatures that became elves once dead. I just kind of like shake my head a little confused.
All right, you get the corpses buried. You're able to, do your any kind of elvish type of traditional ceremony, or any real quick burial rites for the elvish.
Yeah, they plant a tree over the corpse so it brings new life in the world.
Okay, you're able to find a few small trees throughout the forest, and you're able to plant them on top, or replant them, or whatever you need to do.
David, I'm assuming I would know nothing of this particular ceremony, considering I was from the city and then in the White Spire and then in the Circle Tower.
Well, if you have the
If you're from
actual
elvish
trait for it,
descent,
then yes.
yeah.
Oh, no, I won't then. I don't know that.
when we are done with this little piece of RP, can I take a 3-minute break quickly?
Sure. Actually, now would be a good time if you guys want to take a break for several minutes, and we will continue. Are you guys good with that?
Sounds like a good plan.
We'll just pick it up. Let's take about a 5-minute break, and we'll come back at about 5 after. So how's that sound?
David, really quick, can you give me access to Heavy's character sheet, and I'll go in and sort out the macro things. That's just whatever's happened with them. If you want to just give me quick access to his character sheet. As long as Heavy's okay with that?
Yes, most definitely.
Alright, I will be back in about 5 minutes. So, everybody in the channel, thank you for watching. We're going to take a 5-minute break real quick. So,
Cryptid, did you take the ability focus?
I will be back, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thanks for hanging out. My bladder's fixing to explode, and I'll be right back.
Yes.
Then you might have known something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I suppose. That's a chance. What am I looking at?
But yeah, you could have rolled and see if you knew anything.
It's just, had I known something, I would have taken part in it because, obviously, how I was sort of like brought up and stuff, I would probably have taken part had I actually known what you were doing, instead of just like being like, what are you doing?
I was actually surprised that Canary got in it, but yeah.
So was I.
That's nice.
Hence my kind of like, because before it was all about looting the corpses and stealing grapes and...
Well, they bury their dead as well too, right?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
I don't either. They might. I don't know. Wouldn't it be a celebration of the dead for them? Kind of like Valhalla.
It probably like they fulfilled their role, and if they're like one of like the soldier class, like they fulfilled their role, they killed many an enemy before dying, kind of thing. Yeah, so it probably would be. Yeah.
So I could see it. See, my thought pattern between this time and the last time is I thought that was a fluke, and it wasn't real, but it happened again. So it has a more emotional impact. You're back. I'm back.
Back.
I'm back as well.
Yeah, what's up? I'm here.
Well, I'm just sorting out your macros for you, Heavy.
All right.
It was just one word that was wrong in that macro.
Hope you guys are enjoying it so far, because we're enjoying doing it, actually.
Yeah, at first glance, I noticed that like there was like a number missing, or just that simple mace word. Plus, with being over on the attribute side, I don't think it was actually even listed in there, from what Dave was saying.
That's cool. But,
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So you guys, it's the morning. The corpses of the Dalish bodies are now laid to rest the Elvish way. And it's morning. What are you guys doing?
you can remove access to the thing. I've sorted out his macros now.
Right on. Yeah, there was variables named other things that I had originally named them, so no big deal.
Yeah, it was just that the only thing that was actually wrong was that one thing. It was called mace attack instead of weapon. Sorry, mace damage instead of weapon damage.
Yep.
That's it was a quick just to change that. Everything else was fine.
Yeah, no problem. No big
And that
deal
was
at all.
kind of I'll take partial blame for that, maybe.
No problem. I should have went into a little bit more detail on what to put into those variable slots anyway, so no big deal.
I'm blaming the fact I hadn't slept for 3 days when I was doing it. That's what I'm gonna blame.
You pull that card out, that's fine.
Cool.
I'll pull the "it was my fault" card, because I should have told you to begin with. So, and in fact, I was going to do that, but I hadn't seen you guys and I had forgotten. So that's my short.
Hey, I mean, let's be honest. In your defense as well, we weren't actually originally expecting to be playing today anyway, so I'm going to defend you again that way. So,
As you notice on the map,
a GG, is it?
That is a GG. You do notice on the map that coming up within several hours travel from here, there is a large gorge on the map that you are going to have to cross. And Ashara had told you that it is going to be a treacherous cross nonetheless. Because there's no type of established bridge system for this gorge. She said there are just several trees that cross this gorge.
How far away was that, sorry?
Several miles from this location. Probably, we'll say, half a day's travel.
I turn to the group and look at Elephane in particular, and just kind of like respectfully but quietly ask, are we okay to move on?
Yeah, she answers her in a soft tone that she's ready to go and everybody else is.
And I kind of just like, with my kind of like just gesture towards the location of the ceremony just taking place, and I say, do we need to do anything further at all?
No, the rites have been performed. They are at rest.
Alright, so you guys are going to continue on?
Yeah.
Yes, assuming that we've literally kind of checked the camp halfway.
You could have had a nice coney breakfast as well, but somebody kind of knocked the kettle off of the tripod with a spell, so you guys kind of have to eat normal rations.
That was strategic.
Yes, I bet it was strategic.
It distracted the creature that was actually coming in to attack. It glanced at that slightly, so it was actually slightly off balance, and I managed to hit it for those 9 points and kill it.
Right.
So. Yeah.
Alright, man. So you guys travel. It's actually the path is laying right out in front of you. I mean, it's a pretty obvious path. It's not it's basically a main type of road for this area, which is there's a little bit of overgrowth and stuff on it because it's not really a road that is traveled very often. But you make your way through the dangers of the forest, and before you reach the ancient ruins, that is what Mythalon is calling his stronghold. You make the brave and perilous crossing over a deep gorge, or do you cross the deep gorge? So you are now at the deep gorge. You had no encounters on the way, and I'm going to give you a small little visual handout as well. And this is what the perilous bridge looks like. As you can see, there's several trees throughout the gorge of the ravine, whatever you want to call it. And this is by far the best place to cross. And I'm also going to put you on a new map. And this is where you're at.
I turn and go, Elfane, what do you think would be the best way to cross?
And as you can see, this is the best type of visual representation that I could give you building a map. So, this is it's just not a tree going against the pond. I mean, it is literally what this picture represents as the depth of the ravine below you. It's not just a sheer drop-off. I mean, it's two slope steeps, and there's lots of roots hanging out of the earth, and some other small tree trunks from large trees nearby. So, there is a chance if someone falls, you could probably maybe hold on to something to pull yourself back up. So here we are. You guys are here. There are also, you notice, flying above you, there are several. I'm actually going to clear this thing out as well, close it down. You actually noticed several owls hovering above you, and these owls appear to be of a blood owl type of creature, and they are just swarming around the makeshift tree bridge. They're just kind of waiting, maybe hovering over the bridge.
Okay, how wide is this ravine?
This ravine is, I believe, 30 yards. So it would be, actually it is 48 feet across. Almost 50. The actual tree itself is a little bit longer, and it is a pretty thick tree. So it has about a 3 foot wide span. So you can actually get on there and run across.
All right. So 20 yards of a rope, but we're good to cross the ravine, right?
Yeah. These owls as well are hovering at about probably they're. I mean, you could shoot a bow up there, but the chances are it's such a long range, and they have the height advantage. Chances are you're probably going to miss.
David, if I look around, like in particular in this area here and this area here, do any of these trees look like they are in any way close to the length of this one that's crossing the ravine?
They seem to be about the same length, but this is by far the most sturdy of all the trees that had been actually, uprooted and actually set across the ravine.
I was thinking several trees may make a sturdier kind of like bridge than just one tree.
Yeah. Well, as you look at it, I mean, the owls above you, they're not attacking at this moment or anything, but they're just sort of circling the wagons, I guess. It seems like they're the focal point is that tree, and they just continually circle around the tree.
I'm gonna do a perception check before I go any further and do anything around here.
And these owls do have a bright type of glowing eye as well, and you can see this during the daylight.
Did they congregate around this tree when we appeared, or did they seem to already be there before we appeared?
They had already been there, and in fact, they were higher up, but have since they've actually come down. And this is actually what the blight owls actually look like.
When you said owls, I was hoping you weren't going to say owl bears.
No, the flying owl bears. Yeah, this is actually what the blight owls actually look like. They are a creepy foe, that is for sure.
Yeah, they are creepy.
So that is a visual representation of the actual blight owl.
Heavy, you are very quiet.
Yeah, that was meant to be.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
I turn and I ask Elephant, does she know anything about these birds, or do our mage friends know anything about them?
Honestly, I don't know.
Maybe you need some kind of like law check. Would any kind of law check tell me anything about these birds?
Or a wisdom check or something?
You know that they're blight owls. You know that they can fly and attack. I mean, you've all heard of blight owls before, so.
Okay. I mean, sorry, I know I keep asking that question. I'm just never sure what we should and shouldn't know. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm asking. Sorry, David.
No,
that's why I keep asking.
It's not a problem at all. It's not a problem at all.
I just don't want to like say, oh yeah, these are this, and you're like, well, how would you know that?
Now that they're the size of about a bulldog. They're huge, and they've been tainted by the blight. So I mean, some of them have black dark feathers. They all have the large blood red eyes, and some of them are other colors as well, as sort of like a brown or a white. And their beaks are really really large as well. So they can definitely do some damage. You've just never, once again, especially you and Aziza, you two have been locked in a tower your entire life, so you've never encountered him. You've only read about him. Elephane, on the other hand, has probably encountered these before from time to time, especially in this part since he's been scouting. They're not really a challenging force, but they do attack in numbers. So that's the one thing that they have on their side.
The closer we actually get to this makeshift bridge, do they act in any different fashion the closer we get to it?
Yeah, actually, that's a very good observance. They do seem to kind of look like they're going to swoop in for an attack if you get close to the bridge. It seems like they start hovering lower to the ground, and they are circling around. They are just continuously using their actions to circle around the tree.
I put my right foot on the tree trunk.
You put your right foot in, you take your right foot out, you put your right foot in, and the blight owls attack. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, actually, when you get up to the bridge, Alexander, they all start to make a tighter formation. And they do kind of come down a little bit. But when you take your foot off, it seems like they kind of start to gain a little bit of altitude.
So either this tree is their home, or they're guarding it.
David, quick mathematical question for you. How high